Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. Studio 397's Le Mans Ultimate is the best detailed simulation of the World Endurance Championship. This is a continuation of our full 24 hours of Le Mans series. We'll be racing in Le Mans Ultimate using as much of its simulation factors to be as close to the racing as possible. We drive from the cockpit using a Fanatec CSL DD Plus wheel and load cell pedal set, without any assists except for what exists in the car. There are collisions and damage, tire wear, and fuel use, including virtual energy. Prepare yourselves for the stunning audio and visual experience as darkness falls here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Still a lot of racing left to go. Click on subscribe now so that you don't miss out on any of it. So we are in the pits preparing for the 8th stint of the race. You can see here that the tires are still in very good condition, only about 43% worn. And we are just going to refuel the vehicle, stick with 92%. And that is going to take us 41 seconds of virtual energy. Again, no repairs, no tires, just fuel.
Just for virtual energy. No tires again.
So the standings are on the upper left. We are here. In 4th place now is Antonio Fluoco, just passed by. So did Matt Campbell, now 5th place. So the field is passing us by while we're in the pits.
We'll be out in 20
and
seconds.
we wait to exit.
About 10 or 15.
26 seconds
Hopefully
now.
On this stint. And that will get us maybe top 5. So this is a very important stint. Looks like we have a little bit of damage there on the front of the car. Yep, the left front fender is still crumpled again. No option to repair it. Cold tires. No messing around, let's just let them warm up. Okay, the field is now 42 seconds. Oh, very good slide.
It was a very big slide, and there is a barrier just to our left, and thankfully we missed that. But again, to repeat, our goal for this stint is to regain time that we had lost when we were on the hard tires, and try to keep those on for a couple of stints. But a lot of falling off the track and spins is a result of...
So this is the 3rd stint with this set of mediums.
A result of poor grip.
Don't know yet if the tires are actually made to go 0%. But we'll certainly see here when they start failing.
Here is a look at the field as we circulate. This is the lone BMW. One of 2 Cadillacs still remaining in the field, and this is the Wayland Cadillac. Currently in 12th place. Moving up, this is the lone BMW. Currently in 11th place, 185 seconds off the front here.
Left fender there is from rubbing against the barrier coming out of Tetra Rouge.
Yeah, so back in the pits, there was damage to the vehicle, and it does show on the HUD. However, we were not given the option to make any repairs. It may not be consequential at all to the car, and that's why it may only be a visual damage. Back on through the field, this is one of the Alpines, the number 36. There is the other Cadillac that is going to be... It's going to be Renger van der Zandt. And just ahead of him, the other Alpine, number 35. Again, the Alpines are hard to distinguish because of the font that they use for their numbering. The 36 and 35 are very difficult to distinguish. about to cross the start finish line.
46.81.
That is the first lap of the stint. Just zipping by one of the Ferrari GT3s. Now on board with the lone Ferrari of Antonio Fuoco, currently in third place. That is Neil Jani in the Proton Porsche in second place. So the race is here right now between these two. This is the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. Ferrari very close by, but not fast enough to get around this Porsche. On board with Neil Jani, we are going into a spin, and he backs into the barrier in the number 99 Proton Porsche. Back into the barrier before leaving the Mulsanne corner, and let's see if he can get that car going. There we are. Back to rolling. And as of yet, we have not seen any cars getting stuck in the gravel traps. Looking at the timing, it looks like Matt Campbell got around Neil Jani as well while he was in the gravel trap. So a couple of places lost here for the Proton Porsche. The good news is that he is still on the lead lap as we come in through Arnage. Coming in through Arnage now. Got a GT3 and an LMP2 just ahead of us.
No need for any rest.
Precarious curves here at the Porsche S's as we exit out. And here we are on our second lap already of the stint. Coming around 32 and 33. So we are going to set our target economy here. And again, the only option you have here at Le Mans, because it's such a long lap, is to add an extra lap if you're able to. And then the system will basically guide you into being able to save that extra lap. Lighting around the track is on now, and you can see here that dusk is slowly coming through, occurring. The sky is still light, however, we are using our headlights already. And a lot of the corner markers seen here in blue, the braking distance indicated in blue. And as it gets dark, if you didn't notice the light boxes like that one there on the left, they're certainly noticeable now. Around the LMP2 as we come through the second chicane of the Mulsanne straight. Having a look at the Proton Porsche. And this is the number 5 Penske Porsche.
Degrees. Wow. I believe that is the last bit of the sun.
So we are reading the tire temperatures, and those are the cores, into our third lap of the stint. And as night falls, they're certainly cooler. They should be at about 67 to 70 by now. That is important information as we are going to try to make a decision on our next set of tires as the night falls. I think without question the soft tires are going to be required eventually at some point. But right now we are on our first stint on the set of mediums, only halfway worn. When we come in again at the end of the stint, they will be in their 30-something percent, maybe 36%. Still left available, so we may go for another stint on them. There will be 4 stints, as we don't know what it's like to drive on a tire that's down to 10 or 0. On board again with Antonio Fuoco in the lone Ferrari. If you've been watching the series, around goes a LMP2 in the chicane. The number 83 Ferrari of Robert Kubica went out on the second lap. I believe it was due to a mechanical failure that made him spin. So it's very possible a drivetrain issue, but it was near the beginning of the lap, so he couldn't limp in and have any repairs, and that was the end of his day. And I think it was in the 6th stint that we saw the number 51 Ferrari bow out of the race, and it was likely that he ran out of fuel. We had been watching the other cars go around and coming into pits to recharge and refuel, and he was not one of them.
We are up to 5th. I believe somebody may have stopped and pitted. I hope nobody else will be falling out of the race. Okay, so I'm only seeing 8 Hypercars. I hope there's more in the field.
Yes, there are only 8 Hypercars populating the field. I believe the others may be lapped at this point.
Broken wing there on the LMP2. And it's probably why he's going slow. Don't see any other cars around him, so he may have just done a spin.
And here is a spin right here. This is the number 6
And hit the
Penske
barrier.
Porsche of Kevin Estra. And this is just into the Ford curves for the pit entrance. There is his teammate going by, the number 5, as he's able to get the car back on route and back on the road. And doing the math with the Porsche and the other teams, this is the number 5, also in a spin.
Those last chicanes actually
And
got
this
me
is around the Dunlop
0.3
curves, just before the bridge. Also spun, but very quickly got back on track.
Looks like Matt Campbell may have come into the pits and exited. We have made 5 seconds on Neil Jaddy.
So with the Porsches and the rest of the field, including the Ferrari, they may be due for a pit stop here within the next couple of laps. It's very possible that both of the Porsches from Penske are using old tires, and that is why maybe they spun, but they should be coming in, changing out of those tires, but those stops are going to be a little bit more timely since they are replacing tires. And I could imagine that's what's going to happen.
One of the
Another LMP2 that may have been one of the United Autosports. Back to having a look at the number 6.
I believe that is Ben Keating.
And this is the number 5. This will be Matt Campbell just ahead of the number 8 Toyota. And we're looking at a time difference here of about 5.5 seconds now.
That is one of the Porsches up ahead. Matt Campbell is the number 5.
Crossing the start-finish line is the number 50 Ferrari of Antonio Fuoco, currently in the lead.
So on the exit of the
Kevin
S there,
Estre
we
coming
are
into the
totally
pits.
drifting through.
As we had predicted
Somebody
from the
coming
spin, the Proton Porsche also coming in. You can see in the background.
That is Matt Campbell. Yeah, different strategies here. Neil Jaddy also into the pits.
Matt Campbell also coming in, so both Penske Porsches in. And again, both of those cars spun on the last lap, and that's what we predicted, is that they would come in and change tires as well as refuel. They were pretty much due for a pit stop
very
anyway.
good here. So they are coming in on our lap 5 of the stint. We are definitely more efficient. However, it probably won't show up until later.
So both Porsches right now, including the Proton Porsche, are all displaying soft tires. Again, I don't know if the other compounds are going to be available. Hard tires on the Alpine, and how many of each compound is available throughout the 24 hours. We did set our tire allocation to. 64 tires altogether. And that is going to be 8 sets. And while we're looking at the cars that are in the pits, you can look at the cars that are in the garage that are currently out of the race. That was the number 4 that we got a brief look at. The number 4 Penske Porsche.
Antonio Fuoco getting long on the stint. Lap 89. Oh, very wide here.
So back on track is Antonio Fuoco after his stop. And the number 8 is currently second. We are looking at the number 6 of Kevin Estra currently in third. He is now roughly 60 seconds behind the number 8. Coming out of the first chicane as the number 8 comes into Indianapolis. And it looks like that was the fastest sector so far for the number 8 in sector 2. So right now definitely making time. Here is the Ferrari into the pits. The number 50 of Antonio Fuoco. And so a quick peek into the garage, you can see the number 1 Ferrari that ran out of gas in the 6th stint. You can see next to him is the Lamborghini, and then the number 83 of Robert Kubica that went out on the 2nd lap.
Antonio Fuoco in the pit.
And while we also saw Antonio Fuoco, we also got to see the Toyota Porsche in.
Okay, the tires are starting to not brake as well.
So doing a little math, you can see how further ahead the number 8 is at this point. Still on the same lap as the other cars, however, our pit strategy is a little bit better right now.
On Fuoco before he comes out of the pits.
And of course that can be all destroyed by a few spins or even a crash into the barrier or another car and having to come in for repairs.
.7. I think that's where we're at. Yep. He's back on the track.
So as we're doing this very long race, I think one of the things that we have to consider is that having the car going for this long a time is definitely more important than speed.
Matt Campbell falling down. On track, yes he is.
And that will include preserving the car as far as the tires and fuel, and from any damage or collisions with any other cars.
Okay, we may not be running as efficient.
So at this point of the stint, the earlier laps that we've done when we came in out of the pits, they were all pretty much racing speed.
5.2 laps. We are definitely not getting to 12.
And now we are behind the wheel trying to calculate the fuel and the virtual energy. As We are going to get to number 12 there on the stint counter. And again, that is the miles. There's another LMP2 into the wall. Arnage is a very tricky corner. And it is a lot slower than you think it should be. Moving through the GT3s, we gotta remember to be careful not to damage the car or cause condition that's going to take us off track. Over the curb and through the start-finish line once again.
That time was a 8.66.
The lap counter on the upper right of the HUD indicates that is the 91st lap. And currently at our speed, there is a guesstimate of 386 laps. So again, quite a long way to go here at Le Mans. And it is getting dark, but definitely still waiting for full nightfall to occur. This is the exit out of Tetre Rouge, down the Mulsanne Straight. Fortuitous clear sky above.
Nope. Still sticky. About a lap short of where we need to be.
So there, as we came into the chicane, you heard the lift at the 200-meter mark. And right now we are looking to save fuel. Don't currently have a save target programmed.
Virtual energy is way up.
Again, our goal here on this stint was to be able to make up time. But right now, if we don't start saving virtual energy, we're not going to make the extra 4 or 5 laps here.
We run the wall there on the exit.
standings, the number 8 currently in the lead. More importantly, only showing 12 hypercars left in the race. And we did start off with 22. So now on the HUD on the lower left of your screen, you can see the laps there, and on average we only had 3.3 laps to get to lap 12, and we are consuming 8.39% virtual energy per lap, and that is the average. The last lap was 8.25. We'll definitely have to bring that down.
So as it's definitely getting darker, keep in mind where your brake markers are. Their appearance does change in the dark. Doesn't look like we're going to make 12 laps this time around.
Don't forget to give us a like and click on subscribe now if you enjoyed the racing. There's plenty more to come. And again, there is 18 hours and 10 minutes left here at this 24 hours of Le Mans. That was the Lexus GT3. First year here at Le Mans for Lexus, but I believe both of them are still running at this time of the race. .329 kilometers per hour for the number 8 down the Mulsanne Straight until we brake very hard to get into the first chicane.
808 on the last lap. We're burning 190.
So in the last lap we were able to bring down our virtual energy consumption, and
maybe
we are now
half a lap short.
We are now past lap 9. When we come around it will be 10. So it's very likely we are going to be just there again at lap 12 as we cross the start-finish line in the pit. And once again, the lapping starts at 0 so that when we cross the line, it will be lap 12. The timing on the steering wheel indicates that we are on lap 9, but we've actually already finished lap 9, and we are now trying to finish lap 10, and that's kind of how the math works. So at 2.4, we should be able to get to 12 when we cross the start-finish line while in the pit lane. And now we have activated the energy savings here, and it's going to program us to lift off the throttle when we see all of the purple LEDs illuminated on the dash. Also important to note is that we are now short shifting. If you look at the rev counter on the steering wheel, we are definitely shifting up before we get into the green, or at least once we get all green lights lit, we will be shifting up into the next gear, and that is going to save a lot of fuel.
Hit the wall again.
The number 8 Toyota of Mars Medina coming in to cross the start-finish line once again. And this may be the last lap of the stint. Nope, not yet. There is no call yet from the
May be able to make
pits. And it looks like we are able to do 2 laps now. And based on the consumption on the last lap, which was 7.86 virtual energy, that is 7.86%. We should be able to do a full 2 laps from this point on the track, which is Tetra
When we
Rouge.
come around start finish line.
Last couple of laps, turning down the speed certainly saved us some virtual energy, and now we are going to be able to make it to lap 12. And again, this economy is going to help us get further than the other cars in the field, as they may possibly be pitting more often than we are. And again, that could change at any time if there's any spins or tire problems, if the tires are worn, or if they're not grippy enough. All of that can still go out of the window because it is still a long race. And looking at the sky, it is still very late into the dusk period. That is the Mulsanne corner for the number 8. That, considered being 50% of the lap, we can show that we have 1.6 laps left available on virtual energy and fuel. Now.
Right now we are trying to save as much energy as we can. And we need to see more than 1 lap when we cross that start finish line. We are at 1.4.
So 10% virtual energy. When we cross the start finish line, we're going to need at least 8. And that is 8%. On the last lap, we only consumed 7.8, but on previous laps, we were consuming 8.36, and I believe that was the highest value.
Okay, we're going around. Wow. Looks like we might have
So a lot of short shifting here for the number 8 as we come in through the S's once again.
Lap 3, 38.11.
We are going to make it to 12.
So having crossed the start-finish line, we are given the go-ahead for the pit
We are
stop.
losing time though.
The next time we come around, timing shows that we are 43 seconds ahead of Antonio
Plenty of
Fuoco,
fuel.
who is in second place, and I believe 45 seconds was what we were trying to get to. And while we were there for just a little bit at full speed, we did have to reduce our power consumption just to save a little bit of more fuel so we can make it 1 more lap around. So doing the math, it looks like he will be ahead of us when we come out of the pits this time around. The Porsche of Matt Campbell will be in 3rd place. He will not pass us in the pits unless something happens. So it will be
So on that last lap, we brought our energy use to 7.65. I think that is what got us up to 12 here. So right now, if we are efficient, we get to 12 laps before we come in. By our skin of good on fuel. However, our concern is the virtual energy. We did conserve as we have these tires. I think going on these tires.
Coming in through the Porsche S's, we have just about 3% of virtual energy left. And it does look like we have enough fuel for
Take some air out.
the remainder of this lap.
Definitely coming in at the end of this lap.
So right now we are considering new tires for the next stint, as we are now driving into pit lane, and that is going to do it for the stint.
Not a bad stint.
So another good one for the number 8 Toyota of Mars Medina.
We are ahead of Antonio by 36 seconds. That means that...
So while we're in the pits, we do expect that Antonio Fuoco is going to pass us,
So
and that
further back in the field, but again,
the Porsche of Kevin Estra may get close, but we should be able to exit before then. So if you made it this far, we thank you for watching this race at Driving Immersion, and remember, for more exciting racing ahead, give us a like and click on subscribe or follow so you don't miss any of the next race event. We'll see you next time.